Welcome to week two. Hopefully you got through the first week with only minor hiccups and troubles. If you still have some confusion or if things aren't quite making sense to you, please reach out. The opening week was just to give you a little taste of Latin. It wasn't really for you to gain a whole lot of knowledge about the subject matter itself. Now, unit two, stage two has quite a bit of stories. It dives into some grammar. We start to understand that there's a difference of how nouns are used as subjects versus as objects. We get to understand the placement of verbs in the sentences, and hopefully now you're starting to see that verbs are placed at the end of the sentence unless it's a linking verb. And there's logic for that. The Romans had not invented punctuation in the time that they were first writing. And so often the verb would actually end the sentence, and so that way the writing could continue. Also, the way that they created writing material was quite expensive for them because they had not learned the art of the paper making that the Chinese had. And so they used papyrus and vellum and all sorts of other things to use, and it just took a long process. So they tried to put the letters as close as they could. They very rarely put any separation in between words, and so that's why it is that way. And we want you to be able to communicate in the ancient classical Latin, and so that's why we do that. I wanted to take a quick moment just to share my screen, and so that you could see some of the things that I had found to be useful. And so, we have the textbook that you see, and again, this is available online, and it has access to resources, and hopefully you've gone to those. Another thing that we have is the tester, and I had sent you to the tester at the end of stage one so that you could practice your vocabulary. This is something I recommend immensely. If you could spend 7 minutes every day practicing your vocabulary, it will pay off many folds, because you won't be spending as much time looking words up in the dictionary, which is often the most frustrating thing that I hear from students, is that they hold back on translating, they hold back on reading the Latin because they don't know all of the vocabulary words, and they have to look up so many of them, and then when they look them up, they forget the words they were looking up. There's a whole host of things that go on with that. Now, I can teach you some skills on how to translate a little bit quicker, but the best is just in strengthening your vocabulary. So we could make it no time limit, or we could make it a time limit. Maybe I want to make the time limit 3 minutes. Maybe I want to make the time limit 5 minutes. Maybe I want to make it 1 minute. Number of words. A lot of times I like to put a whole list of words so that way I don't run out. And then maybe no time limit per second, because it'd be frustrating to be looking at a word and you don't. This is between your answers. But the overall time limit is the entire amount of time you're going to spend. So this is different. We can go Latin to English, or we can go English to Latin. I think most of us are going to be more comfortable going Latin to English. You can focus in on just the checklist words, and these are the words that I'm pretty much testing you on. However, I recommend you go to all new words, because even though you're not necessarily being tested on those words, having those words available to you and being able to recall them when you're translating is immensely important. Now, this one says stage one, so it's 12. We just recently were in stage one, and a lot of times I like to do up to. Like math, language is building, and so if you're only studying what we're doing now and you lose track of what we've done in the past, it can get very daunting. I know that it can be quite challenging for people that when they're doing their algebra work and then they switch to geometry work, and then they don't practice that algebra work, and then the next thing they go to quadratic equations. Now the algebra is necessary again. It can be frustrating. So the same thing happens here in Latin. So building up to, and then multiple choices, what I would choose, typing it in can be quite frustrating. So we choose multiple choice, and then we just start. And then, as you can see, latrina, that's toilet, bathroom. Exit, exit, that goes out. Atrium, atrium, that's atrium, reception hall. Colina, 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 that's kitchen. Triclinium, 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 that's 3 couches, so that's the dining room. Stairtit, 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 snores. That's what the dog, and that's what Grumio was doing when the dog jumped up, snoring. Latrot, latrot, latrot. That's an onomatopoetic word, which latrot is the sound dogs make in the classical Latin. Our dogs go roof, roof, or woof, woof, right? But they say latrot, latrot. Wea, wea, wea. Remember the V's are pronounced like a W, a w sound. It's okay if you pronounce it with via or via. That's fine. I would understand what you're saying. And ecclesiastical Latin or church Latin, that's what they would say. And well, as you can see, my time run out. And no matter what, if you have a time limit, you're always going to get the last one wrong. It's frustrating. I know some people don't like that. But that's the nature of having the time limit in this older system. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a look at this. I hope you're prepared for level 2 or week 2 as we get into this. And again, if you're having any struggles, please reach out to me. All right, and let's stop sharing and let's pause.